Hello class, this is chapter 3, section 3. We'll go over this part today so you can get all of your videos in, 3 of them for this class, okay? And this is review, but we're going to add a little bit more to it, okay? So we're going to multiply. Let's multiply fractions, back to fractions. That's why it's review. We're going to do fractions in an area of a triangle. Multiply 7/10 times 3/5. Wow, there we go. There. And you know what to do. You'll just multiply those straight across, right? 7 times 3 is 21, and 10 times 5 is 50. And my goodness, those can't be simplified anymore, because 7 is prime, 3 is prime, even 5 is prime, and none of them can divide evenly into the top or the bottom, right? So we know that that's simplified already. Let's multiply 3 fractions. 1/2 times 3/7 times 5/4. Okay, what does that mean? Well, on the top here we've got all prime numbers. 1 times 3 times 5, right? On the bottom we have 2 and 7 and 4. Well, 2 times 7 times 4. Even if we break 4 into 2 times 2, we don't have any that we can cancel out. We don't have any 2's on the top, right? We can't cancel them out. We don't have any 3's or 5's on the bottom. So in other words, we're going to just multiply again straight across. 1 times 3 times 5, well, 3 times 5 is 15. And 2 times 7 is 14. And 14 times 4, yippee, we get to use a calculator this time in this section, but I'll just tell you what it is. I think it's 56. We already know that's simplified as much as it can be because we already broke that down into primes and we couldn't cancel anything, right? So let's move on here. Let's do 4/9 times 5/8. Ha-ha! Now we are going to simplify this, all right? Actually, 4 goes into both 4 and 8. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do this, okay? We can make this prime. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5, right? 2 times 2 times 5. And prime numbers on the bottom. 9. Whoops. Sorry. Got a bell here, because I think it's the lunch bell. There you go. Then you know I'm really working, right? Okay. Break this down. 9 is 3 times 3, and 8 is, we memorize this, 2 times 2 times 2, right? We memorize that. So now let's cancel out our common denominators and numerators, right? So we've got a 2 in the top and the 2 in the bottom, and a 2 in the top and the 2 in the bottom, and whoops, no more. We're going to have to multiply these back together, right? So for the numerator, we get 5, because that's what we have left is 5. And the denominator, we have 3 times 3, which is 9, times 2, which is 18. I'm going to show you one more way that we might simplify that. It might be easier for some of you, and it might not, so don't worry about it if it's not the way you want to do it. Let's do again. 4/9 times 5/8. Well, there's a number that divides evenly into 4 and 8, and guess what that number is? Well, we could do 2, but the largest number that divides both evenly into both of those would be 4. So I'm going to say 4 divided by 4 leaves me 1, and 8 divided by 4 leaves me 2. So I've already divided both the top and the bottom by the same number. And now I can multiply straight across because I don't have anything else that's going to be able to divide evenly into 5 and 9, right? So what do I have on the top? 5. What do I have on the bottom? 9 times 2 is 18. If it's easier for you to do it that way, go ahead and do it that way. It might make it a little shorter, but it might just not be good. So whatever you choose. Let's multiply 3/35 times 7/2. Why? Because 7 can divide evenly into 7. And does 7 go into 35? I don't know, but I know that 5 goes into 35. So, because we're going to use a calculator on this section, I'm just going to do 35 divided by 5 equals, yep, 7. Woohoo! So, 7 divides into 7 1 time. 7 divides into 35 5 times. Woohoo! So now, I've already simplified that, right? I have 3 times 1 is 3 on the top. On the bottom, for the denominator, I have 5 times 2 is 10. Or if I wanted to do that the other way, 3 times 7 would go on the top, and I would break 35 into 5 times 7 times 2, and I would still be able to get rid of my 7's. I still have 3 on the top and 5 times 2, which is 10 on the bottom. So I can do that either way. Let's multiply 12 25ths and 5 6 and 1/2. That would probably be easy, right? Let's break that down into, look at this. I know that 6 goes into both 12 and 6. I'm going to go ahead and write this out the long way, but I'm only going to break 12 into 6 times, what is it? 6, guys. 12 is 6 times what? Well, my class isn't listening. Okay. 6 is, I thought you guys would help me make this video. They're not helping me, just so you know. If I'm going to ask you questions, you can answer. Okay. Here we go. 12 is going to be 6 times 2, right? I'm leaving it 6 because I have a 6 in the bottom. 5 will just leave us 5 times 1. I've got all my numbers. On the bottom, let's break 25 into what? 5 times what is 25, guys?
5.
Yay, they got it. 5 times 5. See, they're so good. 5 times 5. I'm leaving my 6 on the bottom.
High college class.
Times 2. Hi, college class, they're saying. Bless you. We got sneezes and everything going on. Okay, a 5 on the bottom and a 5 on the top. Woo! A 6 on the top and a 6 on the bottom. A 2 on the top and a 2 on the bottom. Woohoo! Look at that. This has become an easy fraction, right? What do we have left on the top? 1. What do we have left on the bottom? 5. There we go. Now let's find a product. Do you remember product means multiply? Okay, now we're going to multiply 3/4 times 4y. Oh boy, what does that mean? Well, we have to turn 4 into a fraction to make it easy, right? So I'm going to make this 3/4 times 4 over 1. Is that how we make 4 a fraction? Yes, we put 4 over 1 times y. Hey, look at this. If I'm thinking about this fraction, what do I have that's the same on the top and the bottom? 4. Cancel those out. So what do I have left? I have 3 over 1 y, but I also know that 3 divided by 1 is just 3. And 3y would be our answer. Let's do 1/2 times 2m minus 4. Okay, so I've got 1/2 times 2 over what number? 2 over 1. Oh, we are distributing, remember? Distribute this in through the whole parentheses. Times m minus, I see that minus there, so I bring down my minus. 1/2 times 4. 4 over 1 to make that a fraction and make that easy, right? So the first one is easy. 2 over 2 cancels. Oh, 1 over, my goodness, what do we have? What is 1 times 1? It's 1, right? So I have 1m. Do I have to write 1 in front of that? No, but I will for the moment. Minus, 2 divides into both 2 and 4. So 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 2 1 time, right? So I now have 1 times 2 on the top, which is 2, and 1 times 1 on the bottom, which is 1. Well, I think we can get rid of our 1. So Isn't that a long bell? Doesn't it sound like a gel bell? Aren't you guys glad we don't have a bell in our class? Anyway, we can get rid of these. Oh, you'll like our bells, okay. We can get, I'm taping. You come back in 2 minutes. Goodbye. Okay, so I can get rid of these ones right here because 2 divided by 1 is 2. 1 times m is just 1. You know, I'm not very nice to my high school students. You guys are lucky. What's my final answer? M minus 2. There we go. It's good. Okay. He just wanted to tell me he was here so I wouldn't mark him absent, right? Okay. X squared y over z times, let's make this z to the third. Oh, I like letters because they're so easy. Over xy. Letters are just really easy. What does this mean? X squared, which is xx, times y times z to the third. That's 3 z's, right? All over. Z on the bottom, x and y. Oh, this is easy. The z cancels out right here. This x can cancel out right here, and that y can cancel out right there. Woohoo! I don't have anything on the bottom except for 1, so I really won't even have to put that down, right? I have x and z, so that is x z squared. Or if it's xz squared all over 1, it's the same thing. Okay, let's do the next set. I mean, we're almost, no, we're not almost. Yeah, we're getting there. Almost finished. Okay. Find 2/3 of 1/2. What does of mean? If you remember, it means multiply. Of means multiply. Yeah, we'll work on that in our class too. Of means multiply. Product means multiply. We'll talk about that too. Okay, so of means multiply. So if I want 2/3 of 1/2, what do I have to do? I have to do 2/3 times 1/2. Well, that's easy because I can cancel the 2's out. And what is my answer going to be? 1/3. So 2/3 of 1/2 is simply 1/3. That's easy one. Let's find 2/3 of 120. Haha, that's not quite as easy, right? So we'll multiply 2/3 times 120 over 1. We'll turn that into a fraction. Oh boy, I have a 3 on the bottom. So I'm going to look at this 120. Can 120 be divided evenly by 3? What do you guys think in this class?
What?
Can 120 be divided evenly by 3? No. Oh, we're going to look because I don't know either, just like you guys. All right, I'm going to do my calculator. Yep. 120 divided by 3 equals, hey, I got an even number. It's 40. You know that? So in other words, I can say, if I'm writing this out the long way, 2 and 120 is 3 times 40. Ha. And on the bottom, I have 3 times 1, and I can cancel my 3's, right? So, oops, I'm sorry, it was 3 times 40. I'm sorry, I did not mean to forget that 0. So what is 2 times 40? 80. 80 over 1 is my answer, or 80 is my answer. So 2/3 of 120 is 80. Let's think about that. If I had a piece of pie that was really, really huge because it had 120 pieces, and I'm thinking, do you think that 2/3 of that pie would probably be about 80? Do you think it would be 40 and 40 and 40? Yeah, that's probably exactly what it would be. All I had to do is multiply that to get that answer. Okay, let's do the area of a rectangle now, because we know the area is length times width. So I'm going to draw my rectangle and make that 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say that I've got a rectangle that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a length of 5, and a width of 2. Area equals length times width. Or when you're talking about a triangle, it's base times height. Okay, so, and then the number is always square units. So if we're talking about the area of this, let's say that's 5 inches and 2 inches, the answer would be 5 times 2 inches. 5 times 2 is 10 inches square. Okay, see you in a minute. 10 inches square, right? Or 10 square inches. If you're talking about the area of a room, you're talking about square feet, square yards. Now I'm going to make the area of a triangle that is 2 for the height and 5 for the base. Length and width, or base and height. That's how you determine area, okay? So, wait a minute. It's a triangle, it's not a rectangle. I'm going to turn it into a rectangle. There's my rectangle. Aha! I know the area of that rectangle. I just did it. It's 10 inches squared. Is that the area of the triangle? If I color in how much is the triangle, my area of my right triangle here, that's, how much of that rectangle is that? Yep, I knew you'd get that right. It is 1/2 of the base times the height, right? It's exactly half of what a rectangle would be. This triangle is not going to make a very easy rectangle, right? It's still going to be 1/2 of the base times the height. And I can't see those numbers, so let's make up numbers. Let's say we have a base of 8 and a height of 6. And let's make it feet. Thanks for closing the door. Okay, so we've got a base of 8 and a height of 6. So I think our area would be 1/2 times the base times the height, right? Or 6 times 8, instead of 6 times 8, well, yeah, let's do 6 times 8 all over 2. It's 1/2. So 2 divides evenly into any of those numbers, right? So let's use the 8.